Hello everyone, this is Karan from IIT Delhi and I welcome all of you to my YouTube channel. So today we are going to do something very big. Something very big. So today we are going to start our mega marathon of IIT Jam Chemistry 2022 Physical Chemistry all formulas of physical chemistry, literally for whole syllabus of physical chemistry, entire formulas. But the video will be like video would have been too long, that is why I have divided it in parts. So today we will be doing part 1. This is also going to be a bit longer video, but I will be covering entire thing, so please watch till the end. Please share it with everyone as you can and please support the channel. So let's begin. Are you ready? Go ahead. Okay, so we are going to start with electrochemistry first. Okay, electrochemistry. So the most important formula for electrochemistry first is we are going to do about Nernst equation. We are going to do about Nernst equation. You know, for Nernst equation, E cell is equal to E naught cell minus 2.303 RT divided by NF log of product divided by reactant, like as we write in the chemical equilibrium. Okay, here N is the number of electrons transferred in the half cell reactions, and F is the Faraday's constant, that is 96500 coulomb per mole, that is charge per mole of electrons. Okay, so if we are provided with room temperature, that is 298 Kelvin, and R we take 8.314, so we can get the form of Nernst equation at like this, that is E cell is equal to E naught cell minus 0.0591 divided by N log of product divided by reactant. Okay, so what is E naught cell? E naught cell is E naught cathode minus E naught anode, and the most important point is that you have to take reduction potentials. You have to take reduction potentials. What do you mean by reduction? Reduction is gain of electrons. Okay, you have to take reduction potentials as a convention. Please don't take oxidation potential. So what is the formula of E naught cell? E naught reduction potential of cathode minus of E naught reduction potential of anode. Okay, clear? E naught reduction potential of anode. Okay, now at equilibrium, if I talk about equilibrium state, when the cell doesn't work, then E cell is equal to 0, delta G is equal to 0, but the most important point is that the standard EMF, what you mean by E naught, that is standard, the standard EMF is not equal to 0, and standard delta G, that is standard change in Gibbs free energy, is also not equal to 0. Basically, change in standard Gibbs free energy is not equal to 0. Basically, how you have to remember, the dot ones are not equal to 0, the without any knot on the top, they are equal to 0. Okay, now for concentration cells are the cells which are of both the same type and in the cathode and the anode. Like here also you have the same type anode, and here you also have the same type cathode, and therefore E naught cell is equal to 0. E naught cell and not the E cell. Always remember that at equilibrium E cell is equal to 0, and in concentration cells E naught cell is equal to 0. Okay, now thermodynamic parameters when we have to calculate. Delta G is equal to minus NF E cell, where N is the number of electrons, F is the Faraday's constant, and E cell you have to calculate. When you have to calculate for naught, you don't have to do anything, you just have to put naught on the E cell. Okay, that is the standard. Okay, now here you have to take that N for which no stoichiometry is in fraction. Basically, no stoichiometry of reactant or product is in fraction. Okay, now if I calculate standard, that is change in the entropy, that is delta S, that is NF del E by del T at constant pressure. That is a particular we have to define, that is del E by del T at constant pressure. You will be given an equation of E, how is it varying with temperature, then you will be differentiating it with temperature. Okay, and then at particular temperature which is asked, say it is asked at 298 Kelvin only, so you will put T is equal to 298 and you will put it here. Okay, and delta H is equal to minus NF bracket E minus T del E by del T at constant pressure. You can also calculate, no need to mug up this, you can calculate both of these, and you also know that delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S. Okay, now I hope it is clear. Please stay with me till the end. You will be enjoying and you will be completing your entire formulas. Okay, so please stay with me till the end, keep supporting. Now if I talk about relation between E naught cell of metal insoluble salt, say if I talk about silver chloride electrode like Cl minus AgCl Ag, if I talk about this electrode, and if I take metal ion electrode of the same metal, that is Ag plus or to Ag. Okay, if I talk about E naught of this, and if I talk about E naught of this. Okay, so the relation between them is E naught salt is equal to E naught of metal ion plus 0.0591 divided by N log of KSP. Okay, log of KSP, where KSP is the solubility product of the insoluble salt, that is AgCl in this case. Okay, if any other salt is given, you will take here and you will take N accordingly. That is why I have kept N here. Okay, now suppose if you have anode also of one metal insoluble salt 1, if you have cathode also of another metal insoluble salt say 2, then you have to calculate E naught cell. So E naught cell will be given by 0.0591 divided by N log of KSP of the salt which is at cathode and divided by KSP of that salt which is at the anode. Say we have AgCl in anode and we have AgBr in cathode. So here we will put of AgBr and here we will put of AgCl. Okay, and accordingly the N value, the electrons value which we get, finally we will put that. Okay, you will get the E naught cell. Very important, very important. Okay, now electrochemistry is over, guys. I hope you must have understood electrochemistry. Electrochemistry is very important to be understood. Like you will be getting around 8 marks question from electrochemistry and conductance. That actually plays a very important role in your preparation. Okay, I hope you must have understood. Now if I move to conductance, that's also one of the very important topic to be done, and very easy actually, very easy topic. If I move to conductance now, some of the basic concepts which I have to revise from physics are: conductance is equal to 1 upon resistance. We know, we have studied resistance in class 12th physics. From very long time we are actually studying resistance. Okay, from very long time we are studying resistance. Clear? Now resistance, we know if there is a metal wire, and we know that if the length is L and the cross sectional area is A, we know that R is equal to rho L by A, where R is your resistance, rho is your resistivity, and L is your length and A is the area. Okay, now if I talk about conductance, we will have to reverse it. If I reverse it, what we will be getting? 1 upon R is equal to 1 upon rho and A by L. Clear? Now if I write it as conductance, and this 1 upon resistivity is given by conductivity, and I am writing it as L by A. Okay, so this is L by A is taken as X, and if you solve it, you will get this equation that kappa is equal to Cx. This conductivity, 1 upon rho conductivity, is known as kappa, not katappa, that is known as kappa. Okay, so kappa is equal to Cx, where K is conductivity, kappa, C is conductance, okay, and X is your cell constant. Basically given by L by A. One thing I want to tell you in conductance, first of all, we are taking a cell. Basically we are taking a cell. So we are talking about which has electrodes. We are talking about L as the distance between the electrodes and A as the cross sectional area of the electrodes. Okay, now one more thing to be kept in mind for conductance, which is very important actually. You have to stick to one unit only. Like I am sticking to centimeter. I am sticking to centimeter. I am taking length in centimeter, area in centimeter square. Everything I am dealing it in centimeter. So you have to deal it in centimeter only, so that the formulas also remain same, which I am taking here. Please keep this in mind. Okay, it's very very important. If you are changing the unit, the formulas are also changing. Now, if I move to the other fact, the molar conductance. The molar conductance is basically given by lambda m. The formula is kappa into 1000 divided by molarity. Kappa into 1000 divided by molarity. Okay. Now, equivalent conductance is also given by kappa into 1000 divided by normality. Okay. Clear? Now, if I tell you what was the unit of cell constant, L by A, that is centimeter divided by centimeter square. So the unit of cell constant is centimeter inverse. So if I take out the unit of kappa, that is conductivity, the unit will be equal to Simon centimeter inverse. Okay, the conductance, unit of conductance is basically ohm inverse or Simon. So the unit of conductance is ohm inverse or Simon, and the unit of kappa is Simon centimeter inverse, because it is C into X. Okay, clear? So see, I am taking everything in centimeter. That's what I am telling you actually. Okay. Now, units of kappa is Simon centimeter inverse. Units of molar conductance, Simon centimeter square mole inverse. Units of equivalent conductance, Simon centimeter square equivalent inverse. Okay, very important point. And one more important point, molarity will be kept in mole per liters only. You don't have to change that. Okay, you don't have to change that. If you are feeling confused, you can watch the video again also, but I feel you will be confident about it. Please stay tuned till the end. You will be feeling very nice that you will be completing all the formulas. Okay. Now, moving forward, we have degree of dissociation. Basically, what we are trying to do, we are trying to calculate the dissociation constants and the degree of dissociation of any weak electrolyte or any weak acid. Say we have any weak acid given HA, it dissociates like H plus and A minus. We know from our discussion in ionic equilibrium, we know if the concentration initial is C, we have C minus, C alpha, okay, where alpha is the degree of dissociation. And now we can define the equilibrium constant or dissociation constant of the acid as C square alpha square divided by C1 minus alpha. Okay. Now, we are using the conductance principle to calculate the dissociation constant and the degree of dissociation. Okay. Now, so the degree of dissociation is basically alpha is equal to lambda m divided by lambda m infinity. What is lambda m? Molar conductance. What is lambda m infinity? That is molar conductance at infinite dilution. Okay, infinite dilution. Always remember, as dilution increases, lambda m increases, and at infinite dilution it is maximum. Okay, therefore alpha is lambda m divided by lambda m and infinity. Okay, now if you have lambda m with you, you can put alpha, sorry, if you have lambda m and lambda m infinity, you can calculate alpha, and if you have alpha, you can put this in Ka, equation number 1, and you can calculate Ka. Okay, very important. Now, related to solubility. If I talk about solubility, and if I have lambda m infinity and the kappa, we can calculate the solubility of sparingly soluble salt like this. Okay, sparingly soluble salt. We calculate solubility of any salt. So if the kappa, that is conductivity, is given for solution, then you will have to minus the kappa for water. Very important. 99% of the students will do mistake here if they don't watch the video carefully. If you are provided with the value of solution and for the water, first of all, minus this value of water and calculate for salt. You have to put it for salt here because you calculate solubility of salt. Obviously, you will not calculate the solubility of water in the solution. Okay, you will calculate the solubility of any salt, that is solute. Okay, कभी solvent की नहीं लेते, we take for solute. Okay, I hope it is clear by now. Now, let's move to the next slide. Now, very important, Onsager equation for strong electrolyte. Onsager equation for strong electrolytes, that says that, as I said, that the conductance, that is the molar conductance, is maximum at infinite dilution, and therefore as the concentration increases, the lambda m decreases. Okay, so the equation is given by this: lambda m is equal to lambda m infinity minus b root c, where c is the concentration. Okay, b value will be provided to you. Okay, now coming on to the point of activity. You must be knowing by now that we never take concentrations in general. We take concentrations for only dilute solutions. Okay, when the concentration of the solution increases, we have to replace the concentration term by activity, which is actually the general term. That actually means how many ions are actually participating. Okay, how many ions are actually active of that particular concentration. Okay, okay. Now, activity is equal to gamma into C. Activity is equal to gamma into C, where this gamma is known as activity coefficient. Gamma is known as activity coefficient. Okay, clear? Okay, so now for our easiness and for our general convenience and general use, we replace concentration term by molality. Molality. All the concentration terms will be dealt in the end of the video, so please stay tuned till the end of the video. Okay, so activity is equal to gamma into molality. That is what we deal with. Okay, clear? Now, the next question, which is very very important, is mean ionic activity. This is very very important for IIT JAM. I am literally saying very very important. Okay, now suppose you have any electrolyte. Electrolyte will contain any cation and will contain any anion. ठीक है, anion. Say we have the electrolyte as AXBY. AXBY. You must be knowing how to dissociate it. How to dissociate it? Okay, it will dissociate as XA plus YB, and accordingly the charges. You can exchange the charges here. Okay, this is how it dissociates. Whenever you get any question, very important, listen carefully, it is very very important. Whenever you get any question in exam, that please find the mean ionic activity of this particular electrolyte. So first step which you have to do is write the electrolyte in the dissociated form as equation 1. Say if you have NaCl, you will first, the step will be writing like this: Na plus plus Cl minus. If you have CaCl2, say if you have CaCl2, let me write it for CaCl2. Say if you have CaCl2. See, first step will be Ca2 plus 2Cl negative. You will write it like this. Then you will see the value of X and Y, and you will be putting the value in this formula. You will be putting the value in this formula. Okay. Now, X to the power X, Y to the power Y into molality to the power X plus Y, and gamma plus minus to the power X plus Y. To the power X plus Y. Okay. Now, what is this plus minus? This plus minus is mean ionic activity. This plus minus is mean ionic activity. Okay. Plus minus is mean ionic activity for A. Sorry, 1 second. A plus minus is mean ionic activity, and gamma plus minus is mean ionic activity coefficient. Okay. You will be provided with the molality of the solution, put it here. You will be getting the value of x and y by writing the dissociation equation. You will be provided with gamma plus minus and you can put it here. Okay, and you can calculate mean ionic activity. Okay, now suppose you are not provided with x and y and so on. You are provided with the activities of separate cations and the anions. You are provided with you are not provided with molality or gamma plus minus. You are provided with activity of separate cations and separate anions. The first step which you will do is write the equation in the dissociated form. Write the equation in the dissociated form as I told in the equation number 1. Then put this formula at a plus ki power x plus into a minus ki power y whole to the power 1 by x plus y. Okay, a plus minus is equal to a plus to the power x into a minus to the power y whole to the power 1 divided by x plus y. Clear? A minus is the activity of anion and a plus is the activity of cation. Okay, now the question actually in JAM 2018 or 18 I suppose came from this topic, that is mean ionic activity coefficient. And you were provided with the activity coefficients for cation and the anion separately. So the first step again will be writing the dissociated equation as equation 1, then calculating x and y, taking out x and y and applying this particular formula, that is gamma plus minus is equal to gamma plus to the power x into gamma minus to the power y whole raised to the power 1 divided by x plus y. I hope you are very very clear with this point. Okay, आगे बढ़े, let's move forward. Okay, slide 15. Okay, next important point and next important concept is ionic strength. The question also came from this topic in JAM 2021. It came in this year itself. It came in 2020 as well, 19 as well. It is so important. Okay, so the formula is I is equal to half summation of CiZi square. That means first you will write it for cation and second you will write it for anion. How many? Till like you will write for all the ions which you have. Okay, CiZi square. Very very important. Okay, where Ci is the concentration, and Zi is the charge. Say example, if I take for NaCl, first thing you will do is dissociate. Okay, let me take it for CaCl2. You will be very much clear with that. Say for CaCl2, first thing you will do is dissociate Ca2 plus 2Cl minus. Then you will check the concentration. Say the concentration of the electrolyte is X. Now for the ions will be, for the calcium 2 plus it will be X, and for Cl minus it will be 2X. Okay, now let's calculate. What is the charge for this? What is the charge of calcium? It is 2. And what is the charge for chlorine? It is -1. So we will take mod of value. -1 you can take, square ultimately will give you mod value. So now I equal to 1 by 2 summation. First I am applying for calcium concentration, that is X. Charge, that is 2 whole square. Now it is summation, cation is done. Now plus for anion, the concentration, it is 2X. Charge -1 whole square. Okay, I hope you must have understood how to calculate ionic strength. It came for 2 marks in IIT JAM 2021 exam. You must have secured 2 marks by now. Congrats. Okay, and I would also say please don't get demotivated that only 4 months are left. Still there is lot of time for prepare. Okay, now coming on to the next most important topic. The question also came from this topic in JAM 2021 itself. Okay, so you can see the importance of electrochemistry and conductance actually. Okay, by now only. So Debye-Huckel limiting law, it is called as DHLL. Okay, It basically gives the relation between the ionic strength and the mean ionic activity coefficient. So it can also be asked in like this way: which law gives the relation between ionic strength and the mean ionic activity coefficient? So it says that log gamma plus minus to the base 10 is equal to minus of A modulus of Z plus Z minus root of I, where Z plus is the charge on cation, Z minus is the charge on anion. Ultimately we are taking modulus. Okay, now everybody will be saying that we have not seen this formula in our textbook, nobody has taught this, nobody has this A. See, this is the general formula, because A is the constant which is solvent and temperature dependent. Okay, solvent and temperature dependent. For water and at 25 degrees centigrade, this A value is 0.509. 0.509. So for water at 25 degrees centigrade, the equation becomes log 10 gamma plus minus is equal to minus of 0.509 mod of Z plus Z minus into root of I. Okay, but suppose you are provided with some other solvent or some other temperature, they will be giving you equation in this form and will be mentioning the value of A. So you should not get confused. That is why I have introduced you to this equation number first right now. Okay, I hope DHLL is very clear to you. Now moving forward. Now moving very forward. Now coming on to the important point is transport number. Transport number. Okay. Transport number is basically the fraction of charge carried by an ion. Okay. So for cation it is given by Q plus divided by Q plus plus Q minus. Okay. Charge traveled by cation divided by total charge. Okay. That is called transport number. And since it is the fraction, so you must be knowing that sum of all fraction parts equal to 1. So T plus T minus is equal to 1. Summation of transport numbers for cation and the anion will be equal to 1. Very important point. Okay. Now, you must also be knowing that Q is equal to I into T, and time will always be constant, obviously, for both the cations and the anions. So we can also write it as T plus is equal to I plus divided by summation of I plus and I minus, where I is the current. Okay. Now T plus is equal to V plus divided by V plus plus V minus, where V is velocity. Where V is the velocity. Okay. Now. Okay. You must be guys thinking, na, Karan Bhaiya has gone somewhere on some vacation. No. I have not gone in any vacation. You should also not go. Okay. Prepare well. Now, coming on to the next point. Transport number is equal to K plus divided by K plus plus K minus, where K is the conductivity. Kappa. It is kappa. Kappa. Okay. It's sounding like abracadabra. Okay. Now, T plus is also given by lambda m into molality of cation divided by lambda m plus lambda m minus. This is very important. Okay, but here you have to keep one thing in mind. Say if you have CaCl2 again, so remember my advice for the question of conductance. Please, the first step when you see the electrolyte, the first step which you have to do is write the dissociated form of the electrolyte. Okay, it will be given as Ca2 positive plus 2Cl negative. Now if you have it as X, it will be X and it will be 2X concentration. So you have to put the concentration here X, and here it will be putting 2X. Okay, please don't forget this. JAM 2020 had this question actually in their exam. The question came from this concept in JAM 2020. Okay, very important. Now moving to transport number is equal to mu plus divided by mu plus plus mu minus. Okay, you must be noticing one thing. Only the numerator, the quantity or the type of quantity is changing. Otherwise, the pattern is same. Think for cation on the top divided by summation in the bottom. That is it. What is mu here? Mu is the mobility. You must be thinking now that all physics terms have come here. I cannot do anything actually. Okay. Mobility. Okay. Now next question will be relation between speed and mobility. Speed and mobility. Okay. So S is equal to mu into PD divided by L. What is PD? That is potential difference divided by length. That gives you the potential gradient. Okay. Now, how you have to remember this? I can assume that you must have seen the Power Rangers SPD in your childhood, right? SPD. So SPD. Okay. This mu term is coming, so you can actually think like that only, SPD, or you can remember at sub D, which I thought. Sub D. That is speed is equal to mobility into potential difference, and you can assume divided by length. Okay. This is very important. Now, relation between lambda m and the mobility. So that is fuse. You must have eaten that chocolate as well. So lambda m is equal to fuse. Z is the charge. Okay. If you are talked about cation, put the charge of cation. If you are talked about anion, put the charge of anion. Okay. This finishes off our conductance and as well as the electrochemistry. So you have secured 8 marks of your JAM 2022 chemistry exam. Please clap for yourself. Okay. Now we are going to start with atomic structure. Very easy and important and scoring. Very easy. Okay. You must have studied Bohr's model of atom from your childhood. You know that MVR, that is angular momentum, is given by angular momentum is given by MVR is equal to NH divided by 2 pi. Okay. You must have studied angular momentum is equal to NH divided by 2 pi. And you must have studied that this is quantization condition. Okay. Now, and you must have also studied that delta E, when the electron have any transition from any energy level to the another energy level, it actually has the energy changes. That is delta E is equal to h nu. Okay, where h is the Planck's constant, nu is the frequency, and h nu is also actually you can write it as hc by lambda. Okay, that is given by E2 minus E1. Okay, higher energy minus lower energy state. Okay. Now, for all the formulas related to Bohr's model, please don't start mugging it up. If you start mugging it up, you will be going to forget that formulas. You will forget all the formulas. Okay. So please don't mug up that formulas. Just remember that electrostatic force is equal to centrifugal force. Okay. Electrostatic force is equal to centrifugal force. Now, for the nucleus is Ze and charge is electron, which is revolving around the nucleus. Okay. The Coulombic force, that is electrostatic force given by Coulomb's law, is Ze square divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r square is equal to mv square by r. You can actually calculate all the formulas from there. Here. Okay. Now you what you have to remember for the questions, you have to remember that energy is directly proportional to minus z square divided by n square. Velocity is directly proportional to z and inversely proportional to n, and radius is directly proportional to n square and inversely proportional to z. This is all what you have to remember. Okay. Now coming on to the next slide, 23rd slide. Now, line spectrum of hydrogen atom. Line spectrum of hydrogen atom. See, I am taking the higher one as 2 and the inner lower one as 1 energy level. So the Rydberg formula is wave number. This is the wave number in centimeter inverse, or in basically in centimeter inverse only, is equal to Z square R bracket 1 by N1 square minus 1 by N2 square, where R is the Rydberg's constant 10937 centimeter inverse. Basically, N1 is the inner side energy level where the electron is coming back. Where the electron is coming back, that is N1, and from where it is coming back, that is N2. Okay. The series is basically given as Lyman, Balmer, Paschen, bracket, Pfund, Humphrey. Okay. For Lyman, N1 is 1. It is returning to first level. For Balmer, it is returning to second, that is N1 is equal to 2. For Paschen, N1 is equal to 3. For bracket, it is N1 is equal to 4. For Pfund, N1 is equal to 5. And for Humphrey series, N1 is equal to 6. And one bonus point which I am giving you is, you can also remember, Lyman is in UV region, Balmer is in visible region, Paschen, bracket, Pfund, Humphrey all are in infrared IR region. Okay. Now, 24th slide. Now, for shortest wavelength, if they ask question for shortest wavelength, put N2 is equal to infinity. Because N1 you already know. Put N2 is equal to infinity. Okay. Now, for longest wavelength, put N2 is equal to N1 plus 1. Put N2 is equal to N1 plus 1. You already know N1 according to the series. Now, if they ask you the question that it is actually returning from this state to this state, calculate the maximum number of lines in the spectra, or calculate maximum number of spectral lines. So you know already N2 and N1. So you can apply this formula. N2 minus N1 bracket N2 minus N1 plus 1 divided by 2. Okay. Very important. Now, photoelectric effect. Photoelectric effect. Okay. Photoelectric effect, basically normal equation, h nu is equal to h nu naught plus half mv square. That this h nu naught is the work function and this half mv square is the kinetic energy. Okay. Formula over for atomic structure. Atomic structure is over. Okay. Again you have secured 2 marks for very easy chapter. Now, let's move to the solid state. Very important. 3 questions came in IIT JAM 21 from solid state. Okay. Let's move forward. So first formula is packing efficiency. Packing efficiency given by Z into space occupied by one atom. Space occupied by one atom divided by total volume of total space, basically not volume, I would say total space of the unit cell into 100. Okay. Into 100. This is what you have to remember. This is what you have to remember. This is what you have to remember. Okay. Okay. Z is the total number of atoms in the unit cell. Z is equal to total number of atoms in the unit cell. Now, coming on to the point of packing density. Very important. Given by rho is equal to Z into molar mass divided by Na into the volume of unit cell. If it is cubic, it is A cube. Otherwise, you will write A into B into C. So for cubic, what you can say, Z into molar mass divided by Na into A cube, where Z is the total number of atoms in the unit cell. For SCC, it is 1. BCC, it is 2. For FCC, it is 4. For HCP is equal to 6, and so on. Okay. Okay. Now, next point is coming to the Miller indices. Basically, we are moving towards powder X-ray diffraction, powder XRD, and the Bragg's law. So Miller indices basically is represented like this in the bracket HKL. Okay. Okay. So now interplanar distance. Coming on to the point of interplanar distance, the distance between the two planes is given by 1 by d square is equal to h square by a square plus k square by b square plus l square by c square. How will you remember this formula? How will you remember this formula? Like D is in the denominator. Okay, so A, B, C, D entire will be in denominator. That's how I remembered. If D is in the denominator, then A, B, C, D everything will be in denominator. Okay. Now, if it is a cube, then A is equal to B is equal to C is equal to A, suppose. If it is the cube, okay. So D is equal to A upon under root of H square plus K square plus L square. Okay. Now, for Bragg's law, for powder XRD Bragg's law, n lambda is equal to 2D sin theta. N lambda is equal to 2D sin theta, where n is equal to order of this particular diffraction which we take. Okay. Order of diffraction. If not given anything, take n is equal to 1. That is first order diffraction. N lambda is equal to 2D sin theta. Okay. Very important. Now, coming on to the most important slide or the most important thing for IIT JAM Chemistry 2022. Question came from this in 2021 as well. Born-Land equation for lattice energy. The formula is given by Z plus Z minus E square NaA upon 4 pi epsilon naught R bracket 1 minus 1 by N. Again I am speaking, Z plus Z minus NaA E square divided by 4 pi epsilon naught R bracket 1 minus 1 by N. Don't panic. Please don't stop the video by seeing this formula. Please don't stop the video. Please watch it. Now, Z plus is charge on cation. Z minus is charge on anion. Na is the Avogadro number. A is the Madelung constant which will be provided to you. Okay. That depends upon the arrangement. R is the internuclear distance. Basically R plus R minus. You can calculate this according to the arrangement. Okay. Now, the most important point is N. N is basically Born exponent. N is basically Born exponent and it is calculated for noble gas configurations. Okay? For helium it is 5. You have to remember this. For neon it is 7. For argon it is 9. For krypton it is 10. For xenon it is 12. 5, 7, 9, 10, 12. 5, 7, 9, 10, 12. Okay, you have to remember this. Now, how you have to use this? Say we have NaCl. In NaCl we have Na plus and Cl minus. Na plus has 10 electrons. Cl minus has 18 electrons. So Na plus is basically isoelectronic according to neon and isoelectronic. Cl minus is isoelectronic according to argon. So take the value of N for neon here and take the value of N for argon here, 9. The value which we have to put is the average value, that is 7 plus 9 divided by 2. That is we have to put for NaCl, that is 8. Okay, that's how you have to calculate. I hope you must have understood. So we have actually covered solid state as well. Now moving on to the last chapter for this part 1. Thank you so much for being so patient with me. Okay, so we are going to do part 1 is solutions. Last topic is solutions and colligative properties. Very easy questions and very scoring, and definitely one question is going to be there in your exam because in JAM 2021 also it was there. Okay, now first moving to the concentration terms. Weight by weight percent, weight of solute divided by weight of solution into 100. Weight by volume percent, weight of solute divided by volume of solution in ml into 100. Okay. Now volume by volume percent, volume of solute in ml divided by volume of solution in ml into 100. Okay. Then molarity, capital M is moles of solute divided by volume of solution in liters. But generally we take it in ml, and then how will be the formula? Molarity is equal to weight upon molecular weight into volume of solution in ml, and you have to multiply 1000 on the top. Very, very important point. Okay. Normality is weight of the solute divided by equivalent weight into volume of solution in liters again. Now, most of you must have been scared by now what is equivalent weight. Equivalent weight is equal to atomic or the molecular mass divided by n factor. Okay, divided by n factor. N factor is basically equal to acidity for a base, basicity for an acid. Salt, for salt it is total number of charge either on the cation or on the anion, and redox you can calculate accordingly for redox reaction, which will be not be useful for this solution chapter actually. That's why I'm not telling. Okay. Now, molality, small m. Okay, that molality is moles of solute divided by weight of solvent in kg. The formula becomes weight upon molecular mass into weight of solvent in gram, and you will multiply by 1000 on the top to convert it into kg. If it is given in kg, no issues. Just you have to put weight upon molecular weight into weight of solvent in kg. Okay. Molality, small m, is independent of temperature, whereas molarity and normality are dependent on temperature because they contain a volume term. Okay. Now, relation between normality and molarity. Capital N and capital M. That is, normality is equal to molarity into n factor. Normality is equal to molarity into n factor. How you have to remember it? You can remember a name of a boy, Naman. You can remember the name of a boy, Naman. N for normality, M for molarity, and this N for n factor. Okay? I hope this is very, very clear to you. Now, mole fraction. Mole fraction is the last concentration term. If we have two components, say, in a system, then XA will be Na, that is moles of A divided by Na plus Nb, sum of moles of both the components. Okay, Xb is equal to Nb divided by Na plus Nb. Okay, so as it is fraction, then Xa plus Xb will be equal to 1. Okay, now let's move to colligative properties, the last topic for today's video. Parts per million is left. I'm sorry. Parts per million. Always remember parts per million. Million is 10 to the power 6. So parts per million will be weight of solute divided by weight of solution into 10 to the power 6. Okay. And now if it is ppb, then parts per billion, that is 10 to the power 9. Okay. In place of 10 to the power 6, you will have 10 to the power 9. Now let's move to the colligative properties. These are the properties which only depend upon the amount of the solute and not on the nature of the solute. First we have, that is RLVP, that is relative lowering of vapor pressure. Okay, P0 minus PS upon P0 is equal to mole fraction of solute into I. This I is basically Van 't Hoff factor, which I will be teaching you in in the later slides. P0 is the vapor pressure of pure solvent, PS is the vapor pressure of solution, and chi solute, X solute is mole fraction of solute. I is the Van 't Hoff factor. Okay, now elevation and boiling point, which is given by delta TB. Delta TB is basically your TB of solution minus pure of solvent T0B. It is equal to, delta TB is equal to Kb into molality into I, Van 't Hoff factor. So what you will say, delta TB is equal to Kb into M into I. Okay, and accordingly depression and freezing point, basically freezing point of solution is less than the pure solvent. So Kf into molality into I, where Kb is your abuloscopic constant or molar elevation constant. It will be provided to you. It depends upon the particular solvent. And Kf is your cryoscopic constant or the molar depression constant. It will also be given to you as it is dependent on the solvent. Okay? Delta Tf is equal to Kf into M into I. Delta Tb is equal to Kb into M into I. What is delta Tb? Tb of solution minus Tb of pure solvent. What is delta Tf? It is basically the pure minus solution, because solution freezing point is less. Okay. Now, osmotic pressure. Osmotic pressure denoted by pi. Pi is equal to CRT. Pi is equal to CRT into I. You have to stick I. Okay, everywhere. C is the concentration, which we generally take it as molarity. Capital M. That is moles by volume. Okay. in liters, in liters, in liters, which we take in liters. Okay, that's how you take. Now pi is equal to CRT into I. That's very, very clear to you. Okay, now total pressure. If you are provided with any particular components and their pure vapor pressures and their mole fractions, then P total is equal to P naught XA plus P naught XB, where P naught XA is the partial pressure of particular component A and P naught B XB is partial pressure of component B. I hope it is clear to you. Now let's move to the next slide. Now Van't Hoff factor. Van't Hoff factor for non-electrolytes. For non-electrolytes it is I is equal to 1. For non-electrolytes I is equal to 1. Say glucose, say sugar, say urea. For that I is equal to 1. You don't have to take anything. For strong electrolytes, dissociation is 100%. So you have to calculate the total number of ions. Say for NaCl it is Na plus plus Cl minus. So I is equal to 2. For aluminium sulfate, the ions completely are 2 and 3, that is 5. So I is equal to 5. It will be provided to you that it is a strong or the weak electrolyte. If it is the weak electrolyte, then the case of dissociation, that these are dissociating. Example, this case. Always I will be greater than 1 and the formula for I will be I is equal to 1 plus N minus 1 into alpha, where N will be provided to, N will be the total number of ions. Say here it is 2. 1 is the anion, 1 is the H plus. Okay, clear? You should not take the N is equal to 1 in this case. You have to, N is in this case the total number of ions which are formed after dissociation. Here it is 2. I is equal to 1 plus N minus 1 into alpha, where alpha is the degree of dissociation. Okay, which will be provided to you. Say if alpha is your 10%, you have to take alpha as 10 divided by 100. Okay, if alpha is X%, then take it as X divided by 100. Okay, now if it is for association case, this is for association case. I have written wrong. For association case. Okay, I have written wrong. Just a minute. Okay, for association, just change it for association. Okay, so you should change it. It is for association. It is for association. Okay. Say when benzoic acid is forming a dimer in benzene, acetic acid is forming a dimer in benzene, you will be given equation like this. Na is giving An. Okay, so here you have to take N. How many molecules are combining together to form an associated molecule? So I is equal to 1 minus bracket 1 minus 1 by N into alpha. Here I will always be less than 1. Always be less than 1, and okay, and alpha is the degree of association. So finally we complete these chapters. We have completed today electrochemistry, conductance, solid state, atomic structure, and solutions and colligative properties. We have completed 5 chapters of our physical chemistry. Hope to see a good response on this video, and accordingly I will be bringing the second part of the video very soon. Please comment your feedback. Please comment your feedback in the comment section down below. Please share the channel. Please share the video as much as you can. Prepare very well, and I'm so sorry I was not well. I'm now also not well. That's why I had a long gap in my videos. I'm still not well. I'm recovering, but that's my responsibility to make videos for you, and so that's why I made this. Please comment me in the comment section down below how much did you like this video, and please share. We will see you in the later video. Till then, stay tuned with Chemistry with Karan. Thank you so much.